So wrestling matches are usually these pretty complex feats of athleticism and timing and coordination between two performers in the ring. And today we have a video that is 30 WWE wrestlers who forgot their spot in a match. If you guys would like to watch the video without me reacting all over, you can click the top link in the description and see the video in its full glory on the original uploader's channel. If the algorithm has blessed you with my presence, you should probably stay around. I think YouTube knows what you might like. If you're young and low, you probably gotta get out of here. I don't make content for the little ones. I don't want you to get in trouble because I do use foul language. With that being said, let's get right into the video.
1, 2, is this on?
Wrestlers will usually have spots planned out for their match, but if anything gets forgotten, stuff can get botched or break down entirely.
Go to punch him, Steph's behind him. I gotta punch, but he's got.
I forgot all about China.
And I want to hit Steph, and like, he can see me rearing up, but he's just looking at me. Like, so I know he is not ducking. I grab him by the neck and I pull him out of the way.
Today we'll be looking at matches where this occurred, and we'll also highlight matches that featured miscues and late timing.
So the finish was supposed to be the second rock bottom, and Earl thought the second one was the first. The Rock was pissed. He picked me up, rock bottomed me, and told Earl, count the motherfucking finish.
As we highlight 30 moments where WWE wrestlers forgot their spot.
I go over and I'm choking my brother, right? Man, this motherfucker forgot everything. I got my face up close to him, like I'm choking him. I'm laughing my ass off.
The SummerSlam 1998 match between The Undertaker and Stone Cold Steve Austin, built as Highway to Hell, had WrestleMania levels of hype surrounding it. But things went awry after Stone Cold got confused after colliding heads with the Phenom.
Whoa!
Undertaker lowered the head.
Oh, he just got his shit rocked. Yo, he got his shit rocked. I used to hate this type of collision as a kid. When someone would stand up too fast and just fucking knock you out. You just be standing there, so it just stands up, back of the head, all tooth. You just, all tooth. Oh, yeah. That's one of those ones right there. Oh, rock his whole shit. This shit, yeah, that's real. I don't ever want to hear wrestling is fake again. You see that shit? Yeah.
Stone Cold got confused after colliding heads with the Phenom.
Oh, Undertaker lowered the head.
He just flashed me, but I was out.
From that point on, Steve couldn't remember the rest of the match.
And I was laying on my back looking up at Earl in the lights, and I said, where am I? Earl started laughing. It was on pay-per-view.
Taker has said that the famous leg drop on the announce table was something they planned, but would only...
What the hell? Elbow drops are one thing, right? I don't think I could sanction a fucking leg drop from a distance like that.
Laughing, it was on pay-per-view.
Taker has said that the famous leg drop on the announce table was something they planned, but would only do so if he and Austin felt the match needed it. So given how the concussion threw a big spanner in the works, the two men deemed it necessary to bust out the leg drop through the table, since the match hadn't gone as smoothly as they'd hoped.
It's good they called an audible there.
I damn near knocked Steve out there.
We're gonna go back because I just saw a fan getting really fucking immersed. Look at this guy. Watch this guy right here. I'm a foot. What are you doing? What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?
I damn near knocked Steve out that night. Inadvertently, of all things, you know, my head hit him right in the chin, and his eyes rolled like a slot machine. And it took a few minutes to get Steve back with us.
Matches not going smoothly is something Ahmed Johnson was more than used to.
Look out, here comes Ahmed! Over the top!
Especially once he started appearing for WCW in 2000. One of his worst matches took place at that year's Super Bowl, where Ahmed battled Booker T for the naming rights to Harlem Heat. Johnson, going by the name Big T, completely forgot what had been planned, forcing Booker to pick up the pieces while Stevie Ray tried not to laugh on the outside.
Big T, as Booker T is helpless in his arms right now. Booker!
I remember my brother and
what is bro doing?
Over the match in the back, over and over and over again. He went to shoot my brother in on a reversal. Oh, my brother shot him in on a reverse and just held him.
Oh no!
I'm choking my brother, right? My brother Man, this motherfucker forgot everything. I got my face up close to him, like I'm choking him. I'm laughing my ass off.
Stevie Ray did nothing to help his brother or tag partner in our last entry. But next we have a wrestler who forgot part of a spot only to be saved by their partner. It happened on the Sunday Night Heat pre-show to WrestleMania 18, where Lance Storm teamed with Mr. Perfect to take on a team featuring Rikishi. During his entrance, Mr. Perfect
No,
placed
some of
the
the
towel
hot
in the left
sauce.
corner, which was important because the towel was to play a role in a big spot planned later. Perfect was supposed to use it to counter Rikishi's stink face. The problem, as revealed by Lance Storm, was that they set up the move in the wrong corner relative to where the towel was. This meant Lance had to quickly retrieve the towel and hand it to Perfect so he had it in time to block Rikishi's stink face. In the moments we've shown so far,
Yo, that was great. What the fuck? What? Oh my god. The visual was ridiculous. Why did he clench the fucking towel? Double cheek clench to the towel, bro. That is like, you can't scrub that. That's crazy. Bro got all wagged and his face blocked by the towel. He was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that spot. That's insane. That is funny as hell. There's only one stink face I wouldn't counter, and that was Rhea Ripley. If you guys saw it, you know the one.
in the moments we've shown so far, you might not realize something went wrong unless we pointed it out. But anyone watching Muhammad Hassan's match with Chris Benoit from the February 28, 2005 Monday Night Raw will have realized the finish got completely messed up. Hassan was meant to hit Benoit with the ring bell as Chris came down with the headbutt. This would have presumably given Hassan, who was undefeated at the time, the victory. The problem was Hassan forgot to turn over in time, meaning the Rabid Wolverine simply hit his opponent with a regular diving headbutt, only for Chris to sell as if he actually got hit with a bell like was planned.
Did he get him?
Benoit, perhaps realizing how stupid this looks, kicked out of the subsequent cover at 1. He then told Hassan to low blow him, allowing the match to end in a disqualification.
What's wrong about that? Benoit's head hitting that middle, and that was a low blow.
Sticking with Benoit now for a rather morbid example, as towards the end of his life, Chris struggled with memory issues. He made sure
Something's wrong with you. If you're not taking that wagon to the face, I'm wrong.
This is because he had difficulties remembering directions and spots due to all the head trauma he'd received in his career. Some of Benoit's final opponents, Kevin Thorne and MVP, have spoken publicly about Chris's memory troubles at the end.
You know, he couldn't remember a match. He just wanted to call it all out there because he couldn't remember it. Mentally, he couldn't do it, knowing the way that he was at the restaurant, and
All right, separating Benoit from his actions and end, his ring work was like crazy good, like super good. So to hear that like most of it was like just called out there on the spot is like sheesh. Man. Yeah, he definitely had those matches looking absolutely hard hitting and great, but like to know that he had to call audibles all the damn time is like sheesh. Unfortunate. Yeah, that's what makes it terrible, right? Like
he asked what I was going to order, and he ordered the exact same thing because he like the menu just wasn't there for him.
I also remember lots of times when Chris and I were in the ring and he would completely black out. He couldn't remember things, and it would happen all the time.
During that period, Benoit would have also been reliant on referees giving him information. For most of his run, Earl Hebner was the WWE's most senior ref, but he still had some
the legacy he has in the ring,
June
but
2nd, 2003 main event
it's
of Monday
unfortunate
Night Raw. Triple H
how
looked
that
to have pedigreed the Hurricane to finish the match, allowing Randy Orton to make the cover. But Hebner didn't count the 3, likely forgetting this was the finish.
And Orton's hooked the leg. Is his shoulder up? Come on, ref!
Oh, that looked ugly. Oh, take him out. What was that? That looked ugly.
Orton's hooked the leg. Is his shoulder up? Come on, ref!
Oh, they caught all that on camera too. That was nasty.
To make it look like Hurricane got the shoulder up, despite clearly not doing so.
Did he get the win or what? What happened?
Nah, that was...
That call was.
Realizing
That
he
was
made a
gross.
mistake, Hebner simply called for the bell as the crowd watched on in confusion, eventually starting a BS chant. Meanwhile, JR and King lambasted Earl's decision on commentary as the show's ending fell flat due to the botch.
That was a bad call or an indecisive call. We got to call it like it is. And the crowd doesn't like it.
Hebner effed up even worse 2 years prior during the Rock and Kurt Angle's WWF title match at No Way Out 2001. This time, Earl claimed that Angle kicked out of the rock bottom. The television audience didn't have the best view of Kurt's shoulders, but that didn't matter because the fans' reaction told the whole story. Hebner had forgotten the order of rock
Is
bottom.
that? Nah. Oh, no. Nah. This is something. No. Ooh. Nah, you could do. Nah. We can't let you slide off that one either, bro. That's bad. That's a real interview of all these fans, too. Like, why?
Hebner had forgotten the order of rock bottom since the
that's
previous one had already
ugly.
led to a near fall. So with Earl acting as if Angle had got the shoulder up here, it meant the Great One had to hit a third and final rock bottom to finish.
He has a habit of trying to lift their fucking shoulder up too with the fake out. Like, nah, don't do that. That's ugly, man. That happened last year? Oh. Nah. Gotta refine that, Earl.
Finish the match and win the WWF Championship.
So the finish was supposed to be the second rock bottom, and Earl thought the second one was the first. The Rock was pissed. He picked me up, rock bottomed me, and told Earl,
NFL
"Count the
reps and
motherfucking
traded."
finish.
A referee as tenured as Earl Hebner probably wouldn't lose their job over a forgotten botched spot, but a younger ref might, especially if it's their first night on the job in WWE. This was soon what happened to Wes Adams on the August 12, 2008 edition of ECW, as he refereed only his
This
second
man got
match
a
for the
baby
company
face
in the
like a
tag team main
motherfucker.
event. The sad part is, it wasn't even Wes that forgot his spot, it was The Miz. Miz failed to break up the pin as Matt Hardy pinned John Morrison for the count of 3.
no.
The young referee simply counted the fall because Morrison never kicked out.
Mark Henry calls for the tag, but instead, he goes for the cover. That's it. Defeats the Miz and Morrison.
Shortly after this happened, refs were instructed by Vince McMahon to count as if it were a shoot. If the talent didn't kick out, it was on them. But unfortunately for Adams, he was made a scapegoat following the incident.
Oh, he got made an example out of. And he did the right shit though. It's good that they changed the rule to like, yo, count it, do it as a shoot then. If they don't kick out, they don't kick out. But like also, that's fucked up. That sucks, right? Like, yeah, like, that's why. Also, what the fuck is this ring gear? He like every fucking frat boy from like 2008 with tap out shirts. You could tell he smells like nothing but Axe body spray, bro. Like, it was real.
As he was fired a week later.
I've been trained to make judgment calls in the ring. I made one, and apparently they weren't happy with it. And, you know, I got fired.
Smoking Joe Frazier was even more inexperienced as a pro wrestling referee. The boxing legend acted as the special guest ref for Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes' clash at Starrcade 84 for the NWA title and $1 million. The match was meant to be a lengthy bloodbath, where Dusty would lose due to a referee stoppage on account of excess blood loss. The issue was Joe called the bout off far too early, with the American Dream still on his feet, ready to go. The anticlimactic finish resulted in a sour end to such a high-stakes match on a huge show.
Oh, no.
Frazier steps in between them. And, what's happening here? Hold up, checking the
He's
cut.
barely bleeding though.
He has stopped the match. Smoking Joe Frazier. He has stopped it.
But you were known for having really long matches.
Nah.
This one only goes 12 minutes.
It went because of Joe.
Okay,
He messed it up.
I got you.
You know, something he wasn't that familiar with, and he just made a mistake. If you look back on it, he called the match too early, way too early. He just panicked, not knowing what he was doing.
Our next botch also occurred on a big show due to Inexperience from China, who by August of 1997 had been in the WWF for a few months. China often interfered in matches on behalf of the wrestlers she accompanied, so it was important for her to remember where she needed to be and when it was time to intervene. This didn't always happen though, like at the 1997 SummerSlam. China was to pull Triple H out the cage door while Mankind climbed to the top. The ninth wonder of the world remembered her spot, but came in too early, meaning she had to leave the ring and come back later. This is because she forgot Mankind was to jump off the cage first before the then climbing
ugly.
back up to try and exit.
She's trying to drag him.
Oh, that's ugly.
Once the Hardcore Legend hit the elbow drop, the match then went off as planned.
China's pulling Helmsley. Helmsley closer to the door. And then
China missed the cue again a year later at the 1998 King of the Ring. Here she was to help out fellow DX members, the New Age Outlaws. After Jim Cornette interfered on behalf of the Outlaws' opponents, the New Midnight Express. Jim stood there threatening to hit Billy Gunn with the tag title belt for what seemed like an eternity. China stood on the other side of the ring until realizing where she needed to be. China then ran around ringside to run in and finally hit a low blow on Cornette.
What are you doing?
Having to wait in the ring forever so she could remember on live pay-per-view that she was supposed to be behind me, hitting me in the nuts when I'm looking at her from across the fucking ring and she's clueless.
A final example involving China occurred at the Royal Rumble 2000. Things began to break down during a sloppy triple threat match, also featuring Chris Jericho and Hardcore Holly. While on the outside with China, unsure of what to do next, Holly reminded the two wrestlers to do a double splash spot, where Jericho and China would both come off the top at the same time and hit Hardcore. This is not what ended up happening, as both landed at the wrong time and came down with very little impact.
Holly lying most of this on the canvas. Look at this.
Oh no. Throw the whole entire match away. Throw the whole rest of the show away. Throw the whole shit. Throw everything involving this out right now. Delete this from the annals of history. We don't need this Eddie. We don't need this Eddie war, bro. What the
As we've
fuck
seen,
was
multi-person
that?
matches require more planning, so if the talent botch or go blank, it can be harder
Wait,
to change
this
things
is the
up
golf
on the
thing
fly.
I was
if
talking
things
about. Ew, what the fuck was that?
matches require more planning, so if the talent botch or go blank, it can be harder.
Oh, man.
On the fly if things get messed up. Plus, it might be more noticeable if something goes wrong. At the 1998 WCW Road Wild
Holy
event,
shit.
Perry Saturn, Chris Canyon, and
Yo,
Raven battled in a
these
three-way.
spots.
Midway through the match, all three men were down. Here we can visibly see each man communicating to one another as they regroup and get back on track for the finish.
I wish I was in there. I'd give up. I wish you were in there. I'd end it right now.
The Road Wild three-way might not have been memorable, but the triple threat main event of SummerSlam 2000 certainly
It wasn't that
In
bad. I know
merciful
John
part, thanks to
Cena's
the
like top
concussion
5
Kurt
yell
Angle
out
received after
spots
being
so the
pedigreed by
crowd can
Triple
hear.
H on the announce table, which gave way too early. The head injury meant Kurt couldn't remember.
Oh shit. That's bad. Oh my goodness. Oh hell no. Yeah, he definitely got his bell rung off that one. Oh, you can see he's out of it. Yeah, that's not even like a pain once he's dazed, bro.
The head injury meant Kurt couldn't remember anything that was planned. Angle had to be guided through the rest of the match by his
Holy
opponent,
shit.
the referee, and Stephanie McMahon.
I was just remembering whatever she told me. Then she looked at me and said, pull him out. So I pulled him out. She looked at me again and said, throw him into the steps.
Your Olympic hero sadly suffered a horrible, horrible concussion.
The table gave it too early. My head hit the concrete floor.
Oh, God. Oh,
my hands were behind my back.
Ooh.
I was on loopy street.
Yo, he couldn't brace for that shit at all, huh? That's terrible. There was like it's not like really recent, but it was like back when Triple H was like actively in ring. In recent years, I should say. It was like some spot where like he seemed out of it too, like I think they called it the near death or something like that. We'll watch it after this video if they don't have it in here. That shit it was very concerning, bro. Def looked like he did not know where he was at. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Look, I start trying to get up, and Hunter's going to pull me back down. There was no way that I could remember that whole entire match in my condition. And it's amazing how well they covered up for me.
I go to punch him. Steph's behind him. I gotta punch, but he's got to duck the punch. and I'm gonna hit Steph, and like he can see me rearing up, but he's just looking at me like.
Yeah, he definitely was around like, yo, where the fuck am I at? I don't know if he was selling or what. He looked like he was
Bubba Ray Dudley
super
during
confused.
the Raw Roulette TLC match on October 7, 2002. Bubba got spiked on his head following a bulldog off the ladder from Chris Jericho. Years later, Bubba and Chris discussed the match on the Talk is Jericho podcast.
It's crazy how you go on autopilot. You told me to go take the Van Daminator, yeah, and I said, from who? And then you told me to go up and do the Bubba Bomb, and I said, how?
Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley's Get the Tables line has become an iconic catchphrase in wrestling. But it all began because Devon legitimately forgot to get the tables in a match, prompting Bubba to remind his brother to do so. And from then on, the phrase stuck and got over huge with the fans.
Is that really why that became the phrase?
And he went, Devon, get the table. And it just caught on. To this day, everywhere we go,
so
it's
cool.
Devon, get the table. All because I forgot the spot.
That is actually hella cool. I like that. That's actually really cool. No, that's sick. That's sick, actually. I like that.
The Dudley Boys' opponent was the one who went blank in this next example. It was during an 8-man tag team tables match on the February 8, 2016 edition of Raw. Big E was supposed to take a 3D through a table from the Dudleys following an enziguri from Jimmy Uso. E, however, rolled out of the ring, forcing Bubba to call him back in.
It said now, Devon, won't forget.
Big E's iconic New Day teammate Kofi Kingston was
telling
involved
E to
in
get
one
back
of the most
in.
infamous forgotten spot moments, and that's because of the response it drew from a furious Randy Orton. Orton and Kingston's feud was set
we
to
know
end in
this
a match
one.
on the January 11, 2010 Raw.
We
with
know
Randy
this one.
kicking Kofi in the head. Kingston instead began to feed for the RKO, so the Viper had to switch gears and hit this move instead to win the match. Randy chewed out Kofi for not getting in position for the pun, angrily calling him stupid twice.
Goes for the RKO, connects. Kofi Kingston, jaw and face.
This was the end of Kingston's push, and he wouldn't feud with the main eventer again until 2019.
You think that I used my influence to hold you back? You're damn right I did.
Kofi's push in 2019 was brutally ended by Brock Lesnar.
Talk your shit.
Lesnar likes to work on his own terms, including picking who he wrestles and what he wants to do in the ring. During a match with Braun Strowman at No Mercy 2017, it appeared as though Brock was meant to lock in the Kimura as soon as he kicked out of a spine
Is this the slow the fuck down spot?
Spinebuster to Lesnar. Cover to the champion. Almost had him. Think about that.
The Beast,
No, we saved
however,
the slow the fuck
continued to
down.
lay on the mat while Braun
Yeah.
waited put in the submission. Lesnar either forgot he was supposed to immediately transition into the Kimura lock, or simply decided he didn't want to do it. Either way, Strowman remained in position to feed into the hold, only for nothing to happen.
For a long time on Strowman. He made it to the ropes, forced the break, got back to his feet, delivered a spine buster.
2 years later, it was Braun that missed his cue during the
Hey,
Andre the
yo.
Giant Battle Royal at
Had him
WrestleMania
laying there
35.
looking all
Strowman
tight
was
to-
booked to eliminate Luke Harper and Mustafa Ali, who were performing a suplex spot on
Yo,
the
a
apron.
double
Harper
drop
can be
kick
seen
from
calling for
Strowman
Braun,
is
who
crazy.
initially didn't respond.
Now he's here to clean house.
This is a statement of dominance right now by Strowman. Watch Ali.
Eventually, they repeat the spot, and Strowman is there. This time, though, he nearly causes an injury, as Harper and Ali crash and burn to the outside.
Runner up from a few years ago in this matchup.
Harper going again, trying for that suplex again.
Yeah, rest in peace to Luke Harper, man.
One of the biggest botches in
Oh,
WrestleMania history
shit.
was Papa Shango's
That spot
late
always looks
interference
crazy to
during
me.
the final pin in the main event between Hulk Hogan
Uh-oh,
and Psycho
who
Sid
called
at
it
Mania
early?
8. This botch forced Sid to kick out of Hogan's signature
Who
leg drop,
called it
becoming
early?
the first wrestler in WWF to do so, as the match ended in an awkward disqualification. For many years, fans believe Papa Shango missed his cue, but this is not the case, as Shango got a late cue from those in the gorilla position, meaning it was whoever directed Shango that botched and missed their cue.
I'm sitting there like a track star waiting to go, and then all of a sudden he goes, oh, go, go, go. They gave me a late cue.
Another missed or botched cue that ruined the finish of a match took place at In Your House Mind Games in 1997. Mankind and Shawn Michaels had just worked in a 5-star classic until Vader was booked to run down and interrupt the final pin, leading to a disqualification.
Oh, yeah. Whoa.
Vader either got a late cue or was just too slow getting to the ring, because Michaels had to abandon the cover
Vader,
to start
what?
brawling with the Mastodon. However, Vader hadn't got a shot in yet before the bell rang for the DQ, so the finish didn't really make sense in the end. 1 year prior to Mind Games, Vader worked Shawn in the main event of SummerSlam 96. The match is best remembered for HBK going ballistic at Vader for failing to move out of the way of an elbow drop from the top rope. An enraged Michaels reacted by stomping on Vader's head and cussing him out for not moving.
Oh my god.
This was peak.
Was that the original stupid? Is that the original stupid right there? Ah, Shawn. Why? So he was so mean back then. Before he found Jesus, right? Jeez.
Petulant child, tamper-throwing 90s Shawn. Jim Cornette said it best.
Well, Shawn Michaels is still the single most talented athlete in wrestling today inside the ring. But outside, he's an adolescent, obnoxious jerk who takes his tights and goes home if he doesn't get his way.
And if you found God, that's generally because I've noticed people in this business that find God do so when everybody else hates him so bad they won't speak to him.
Vader was one of the numerous big men WWE
I definitely heard he was a cock.
The jury's still out on whether Omos will be added to the list of names. One of his most notable botches occurred after the 7-footer began working as a singles star in WWE. At the start of matches, the Nigerian giant would do a height measuring gesture between him and his smaller opponent.
Okay. I gotta admit, I don't know anything about Omos, but the height measuring taunt seems really dope for like a super tall superstar to do. That's actually kind of tight. Has he had any matches against Rey Mysterio? Yes or no? I fuck with the taunt. That is really cool. It's the super simple taunts that are like the ones that get me.
Face to face, it's like face to.
However, on the January 10th, 2022 Raw, a still green and inexperienced Omos remembered his spot but wasn't sure when to do it, so he asked the referee for assistance.
Listen, guys, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you.
One of Omos' most noteworthy feuds was against Bobby Lashley. Like Omos, Bobby also got confused during a spot on Raw during that awful 2019 to 2022 time period for WWE. After Lashley won a 6-man tag match on the March 4, 2019 episode of Raw, Bobby along with teammates Baron Corbin and Drew McIntyre beat down one of their opponents.
I know they're like that with
during the melee, both Corbin and
if you guys know who Bob Sapp is,
as to where to go as they
the
were about to hit
oh
angle with the steps. This resulted in the Almighty pacing back and forth in confusion until finally carrying out the spot as intended.
We got directing traffic.
Oh, Bobby. Oh, no.
Bobby previously missed his spot during a mixed match challenge tag bout on October 16, 2018. Lashley teamed with Mickie James to take on the team of Bobby Roode and Natalya. Bobby was late coming in to interrupt Mickie and Natalya arguing, which forced Roode to yell out "now" and his opponent's name multiple times until Lashley finally intervened.
Omos is looking.
The 6-man elimination tag team tables match was a hot start to the 2002 Survivor Series pay-per-view, though there was one significant botch when Rico was standing on the top rope waiting for Jeff Hardy to cut him off. Rico was there for so long, almost 15 seconds in total. He pretended to lose his balance before audibly yelling out for Jeff, who was down selling on the floor. Then at last Hardy shook the ropes to crush Rico on the turnbuckle.
Oh, Bobby, no. Oh, Bobby, please.
That match was infamous because Jeff was late to push you.
Oh, is that where you yelled out, Jeff? God damn it! Yes.
God damn it, Jeff!
Yes.
Survivor Series 1998 also had a memorable botch. It went down during Stone Cold Steve Austin's match with Mankind. The Big Boss Man was to run in and cost Austin the match courtesy of a chair shot to the head. The Boss Man wasn't there since he was in the back talking to the Undertaker.
Oh, he was really just 100% not on too? What the hell?
Therefore, the higher-ups sent Gerald Briscoe down to screw Steve, which may have been the first time Briscoe ever swung a chair in his life.
Mankind. Wait a minute. Briscoe on a chair shot.
The Texas Rattlesnake was mad as a hornet when he got backstage, cussing up a storm and chewing Bossman out for missing his cue. Not to mention the awful chair shot Steve had to sell for.
He missed his fucking cue. He was in the dressing room talking to the Undertaker. And I love Ray Traylor to death, God rest his soul.
Man.
I cussed that motherfucker up and down and just lit into his ass.
British Bulldog didn't just forget one spot at SummerSlam 92. He forgot the entire match. That's because he was up all night smoking crack with Jim Neidhart. Quite the preparation for the biggest match of your...
You cannot just casually throw that sentence in there and what? You cannot. You cannot just say someone was up all night smoking crack with somebody else. Wait a minute. Wait a fucking second, please.
Match. That's because he was up all night smoking crack with Jim Neidhart. Quite the preparation for the biggest match of your career, main eventing the biggest show in UK history.
80,000 tickets in less than 11 hours, and that broke the British Telecom phone.
His opponent on the night, Bret Hart, guided Bulldog through the entire match, which is saying something given how incapacitated the Bulldog was, given how incredible the contest ended up being.
The first 30 seconds of the match, Davey went blank. So I think I had him in rear chin lock. He goes on blank. I lost him. And he almost panicked. Bulldog, unfortunately, sat home all summer. Partied a lot. Didn't train. And showed up in Wembley kind of overweight, out of shape, and totally paranoid, like, nervous. And I know Davey, had some drug problems and issues at the time, and he was not as prepared for that match. But I don't want anyone to ever think that that Davey didn't give 100% in that match.
The final moments of the 2018 Royal Rumble match is remembered for John Cena screaming at the top of his lungs for Shinsuke Nakamura. This is because Nakamura and Finn Balor were meant to attack Cena during his standoff with Roman Reigns. John and Roman stared each other down for ages, prompting Cena to scream Shinsuke's name. Balor and Nakamura could have missed their cue here since the stare down lasted forever. Cena could have also called an audible to make the two come in early since the fans were raining down boos and you both suck chants to Cena and Roman.
That WrestleMania moment once again. Of the WWE fans here in Philadelphia.
Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero's rivalry in 2005 is one of the best ever of their respective careers. However, during their infamous SummerSlam 2005 custody of Dominic ladder match, there was a spot that didn't quite go to plan. Near the end of the match, Guerrero had Mysterio trapped underneath the ladder while taunting Rey as he was inches away from winning. Eddie's wife Vickie was supposed to run down the ring and push her husband up the ladder. This didn't happen, however. Vickie missed her cue and Eddie was awkwardly standing on the top of the ladder, holding the briefcase and struggling to unhook it, very obviously stalling time for Vickie. With Vickie nowhere to be found, Guerrero and Mysterio had to improvise. Guerrero falls to the mat frustrated and he screams, "Where the fuck was Vickie? God damn it."
Look at Eddie, frustrated.
The two luchadors then improvised some more before Eddie Guerrero delivered his signature Three Amigos and attempted the spot once again. This time Vickie shows up and pushes Eddie off the ladder. Rey Mysterio then climbs and wins the match and custody of his son Dominic. Now if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out a similar video of 10 WWE.
Man, over it. Dude, we had another banger video here. Absolutely. If you guys would like to see the content without me pausing and interrupting it, again, you can find it after top link in the description. Sorry, I'm a little sick. You might have heard a cough or two. Got the course of that video, but I love this one. It's always crazy seeing the superstars kind of have to pick up the pieces after something goes wrong in a match. Like, we used to watch the funny side of like the botches and whatnot, but seeing them have to make things happen when an important spot gets completely butchered is hilarious to me. But yeah, that'll be this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for hanging out.